Good evening, I'm Sarah Patterson, and I want to welcome everyone to this year's Night on the Green. And on behalf of Alabama Gymnastics, I want to thank each and every one of you for your supporting the Power of Pink and the DCH Breast Cancer Fund. This week's events, along with our annual Pink Meets, are so important in our ongoing battle against breast cancer, making it possible for women of all backgrounds to become educated about the disease and to provide them with the means for early detection. My involvement in this cause began in a waiting room. For several years, I had trouble passing my annual mammogram, and it was because of that, in the fall of 2004, I had to go through a series of tests to make sure that I was okay. And I was perfectly healthy. But it was during that time, in those doctor's office, I began to think about how lucky I was, not only to be healthy, but to have excellent medical insurance. And I knew that not everyone was as fortunate as I. And it was during that time that I started to think about how I could use and engage our 11,000 fans that come to Alabama Gymnastics in a way that would help make a difference in the lives of women in our community and in the fight against breast cancer. It was during those early days that I also discovered that God puts people in your life at exactly the right time. For me, it was people like Larry O'Neill, who was with the DCH Foundation when all this began, and David DeSantis of Tuscaloosa Toyota. Both men have been vital to the success of the Power of Pink and the DCH Breast Cancer Fund. Both were primed to help create and grow this wonderful initiative, and both had already had their lives touched by breast cancer when we met. What I've come to find out throughout this journey is that everyone knows someone, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a coworker, someone who has been touched by this terrible disease, which is why the fight against breast cancer is so important and why it resonates with so many people. We held the first Pink Meet on February 4th, 2005 against Auburn, drawing more than 13,000 fans, all dressed in pink and all there to support the cause. When I called to thank the man who donated the pink leotards for both teams, he told me that his wife was a breast cancer survivor and he wanted to help in any way he could. That attitude has been pervasive throughout the years. The next season, we drew in Alabama an SEC record 15,162 fans to the Pink Meet and presented a check for $90,000 to the DCH Breast Cancer Fund. From there, things have continued to grow by leaps and bounds, not just here in Alabama, but nationwide. Gymnastics teams across the country began hosting Pink Meets. NFL players will wear pink gloves, chin straps, and shoes this month, and Major League Baseball players will use pink bats on Mother's Day to show their support in the fight against breast cancer. The list goes on, and just as pink events have grown, so has the Breast Cancer Fund. We passed the $1 million mark in 2011, and coming into the fall have raised over $1.2 million. And while there is so much we can be proud of, so much that we have accomplished, we push on, we continue. Because the fact of the matter is that every 3 minutes, a woman in this country will be diagnosed with breast cancer. These are women we know, women in our community, in our family, women like my husband David's mother, Shirley, who is a 21-year survivor, and Annie Wilhide Desiden and Allie Green Hayes, who are both in our first recruiting class. Annie is a 5-year survivor and Allie is a 17-year survivor. And we fight on for women like Angel Pittman Burnett, who David and I coached as a club gymnast when she was little, who lost her fight with breast cancer at the age of 34, 3 years ago this month. And we fight on for women like Angel Pittman Burnett, who David and I coached as a club gymnast when she was little, who lost her fight with breast cancer at the age of 34. 3 years ago this month. The Power of Pink is for those women and for everyone who has been affected by this disease, and the DCH Breast Cancer Fund is for everyone in our community that needs a helping hand. That's why the Breast Cancer Fund has designated funds to support the DCH Regional Medical Center Breast Center Expansion Project. With the raised awareness about the benefits of early detection, the DCH Breast Center Fund found that it needed to expand to keep up with the growing needs of our community. The Breast Center Project will provide even more ultrasound and mammogram services, which are critical to early detection. It will also increase the number of patients the center can screen per day and create a better environment for testing. Simply put, early detection saved lives, and the power of PINK and the DCH Breast Cancer Fund exists to not only educate people about that fact, but to make it affordable for all women of West Alabama to take action and to receive screenings. I hope everyone is having an amazing time tonight. I hope you will be generous in your silent auction bids and that you will continue to support the DCH Breast Cancer Fund, both financially and with your time. I also invite each one of you to join us on Friday, January 25th, when your back-to-back national champion Alabama Gymnastics team takes on Kentucky in the 9th annual Power of Pink. Until then, I hope everyone will think pink, wear pink, and of course, roll Tide.